there, Laura again. Welcome to day 2 of the Josephine and Kids Joe Sew Along, sponsored by the Fab Clique Fabric Shop. Today we are working on our kangaroo pocket and our bodice. I'm not going to waste any time talking. Let's do it. Okay, here we are. Welcome to day 2. We are going to be working on the kangaroo pocket if you're making it, and we're going to be putting our bodice together. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the kangaroo pocket. The first thing we want to do is we want to note that the kangaroo pocket is not intended to be used on the crop top. That would make it way too high up on the body and it doesn't work. It's not going to look right. So we're going to turn our piece to where the wrong side is up. Now, so we're gonna grab a measuring utensil. It can be, this is a hem gauge, or it can be measuring tape, whatever. And we're going to fold these two diagonal sides. We're going to fold it in towards the wrong side, 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And you're going to want to press that. Now, if your fabric doesn't want to stay, I know fleece is this way, you can grab your wash away wonder tape and you can use that to tack it down, or you can use pins or clips. The wash away wonder tape is really fabulous for these type of applications. They just make life easy. It just makes life easy, I should say. And we're going to do that on the other side as well. The next thing we're going to do, using a double needle, a zigzag, a cover stitch, or you could even use a stretch stitch if you like. We're going to stitch these down. All right, we're going to top stitch the edge here, on the edge of the raw edge here. Okay, we're going to do that on both sides. Okay, so here we are. Trim any thread we've got. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold these flat sides, these straight sides in. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. Okay. So for these sides, we're going to fold. It's the sides and the top as well. Let me I've got more threads here hanging out that I need to trim. Okay. We're going to fold each of these sides in 3/8 of an inch and press, and we're going to do the same to the top. I'm going to top stitch just like I did these angled sides. Okay, so sorry about that. My battery died and I didn't get footage of me stitching this. So I stitched across here and I stitched down here. Now I'm doing the same thing here and folding this up 3/8 of an inch. I already kind of have a pressed guide here, but that's what I'm doing here. All right, now I'm going to go back over to my cover stitch machine and I'm going to top stitch this just like I did the other side. Okay, well, I'm sorry to say my card was full and I didn't realize it, so that didn't get videoed either. But all I did was top stitch across here for that one. So first we did the sides, the angled sides, then we did the top and the straight sides, and then the bottom. And here's kind of what we have. So I'm going to give it a press. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare our bodice pieces. So we're going to take our bodice. If we are doing a banded top, this is going to be a raw edge, and you're going to center it on your bodice, and you're going to center it to here. So the best way to do it is to find your center here. Let me grab my pins. All right. So you're gonna mark the center. You can use pins, you can use clips, you can mark it with chalk or whatever. And then mark here, okay. You can also press it, and that crease, that center crease would be the center. And then you're going to match up your center right here. This is if you're doing a banded top only, okay? So this pocket will have a raw edge. Then you'll pin it down. You'll have the same amount of fabric on either side of the pocket, okay? That's if you're doing a banded top. All right, so here is where the Joe and Josephine kind of differ a little bit with placement, all right? Because the lengths of our bodices are different, so pay close attention. We're working first, I'm gonna show you the placement for Joe, for the kids' Joe. Then I'm gonna show you the placement for the women, or the adult pattern, Josephine, okay? So for the shirt with band, I already showed you that. That's gonna go all the way down here. This is a raw edge. It will be centered with the center, your center marking for your bodice and your center marking for your pocket, right? So if you're doing, for the kids' Joe, a hemmed shirt, a tunic, or the dress option, you're going to mark the center of your kangaroo pocket, which I have already done, okay? And you're going to mark the center of your bodice, which I will do with the iron. I will press a crease in here, and that's going to tell us center. All right. Then let's open that up, and then we're going to grab our pattern piece. So don't toss that pattern piece, okay? So we've got our crease right here. That's our center crease. It says in the tutorial that for the vertical placement, we're going to line up. We're going to line up the we're going to line up our pocket using the shirt with band cut line on our pattern piece. Okay, so I've got multiple sizes cut out here, so no worries. What you're gonna do is you can grab, where is my pen? A writing utensil. And so we have the hemmed tunic line, the tunic with band, but we're looking for the top with band, the top cut line with band, which is right, just want to make sure, here it is, right here, okay, for the size 8. So the line has to come all the way over to the size 8. So it's right here, okay? Let me do that again. My chalk is not showing up very well, so I'm going to make sure I use a pin, I guess. The top cut line with band is here, so I'm going to place a pin right there, all right? Make sure it's straight, not crooked. There we go. Move our pattern piece to the side. Now, we are going to match up our center mark, our center pin, with our center crease on that top with band marking. All right? And then you will pin across here and here, because you'll be sewing here, and back stitching at either end, and you'll be sewing across here. All right? Let's talk about the Joe or Josephine. All right, for the Josephine, it's slightly different. All right, what you're going to do is for the shirt option, you're going to match the center of the kangaroo pocket with the center of the front bodice. That's the same in everything. Then you're going to pin the pocket in place, aligning the raw edge of the kangaroo pocket with the raw edge of the front bodice, which we have done. That's for the shirt, whether you're doing the shirt, the hemmed shirt, or you are doing the banded shirt in the Josephine, you're going to line up your raw edge with the bottom, okay? We did that with the Joe, that's the same. For the tunic option, you are also going to match up those centers. That doesn't change, but you are going to pin, the pocket in place 5 inches from the hem. So you'll measure up with your measuring device 5 inches from the hem, and you will place it there. If you're doing the dress option, you're going to measure up from the hem 8 inches, and you're going to place it there. All right? So because I'm doing the Josephine, or the Joe tunic, I've already got it kind of in place where I want it. So I can either use wash away wonder tape, or I can use pins. I'm just gonna use pins for the time being. Use as many as you need. You don't want this thing wiggling around while you're trying to sew. More pins, if it's a question, more pins is better. I even do at least one in the middle, just cause. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go to my sewing machine. I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna come down to here. I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna come across. I'm gonna make sure that I have backstitched here. So from here, backstitch, all the way here, down and around, stop, pivot, come all the way up here, backstitch. And then I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna cut everything off. I'm not sewing here because that's where the hands go in. Then I'm going to sew across here, making sure to backstitch on either end. All right, and I'll be right back. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to work on the bodice. This is the same in both the women's and the kids' Joe. So I've got my front bodice here and I've got my back bodice here, and I'm going to place them right sides together. Then I'm going to pin them or pin or clip at the shoulder seams. And while I'm at it, so I can do all this stuff kind of with at one sitting, I'm going to turn it sideways here, and I'm going to line up my side seams and clip those as well. Next, I'm going to go to my serger. You can use a stretch stitch or a zigzag as well on your regular machine. And I'm going to sew my shoulder seams at a 3/8 inch seam allowance and my side seams at a 3/8 inch seam allowance, and I'll be back. Right side out so we can take a good look at it. And as much as you can remember, you should be pressing every seam as you finish it. So I'm going to press my seams. All right, now we have officially completed day 2 of our Josephine and Joe Sew Along, sponsored by the Fab Clique Fabric Shop, and we are ready for day 3.